and that's a huge,
Oh,
you
that's
can
a
see
big-
the cost
yeah,
of
that's
the
a big,
crane on there, that's a $70,000 savings. So it's just getting out there, getting the word. And if it were to go through to get the contacts to finish up on that, then it's no problem. And then also with that would be giving back a little bit. Some of the facilities have put a nice plaque on the side of theirs, whether it be by the front entry door or the side, just a little recognition for the people who donated or who gave for us. Also, there are people within town who put us on their 911 for confined space or whatever they may be doing. And a lot of those businesses usually will offer a donation if they can come out, maybe use the facility once or keep their standards up.
What size crane you gonna need? Any idea? I got some.
I can check into what they use.
I might be able to shag one loose.
Did you guys, do you guys have anything in there for like hauling pallets up to the second or third floor?
We had talked about it, but then I know, again, we're at a point where we don't know where to take this to. There are, again, grants out there for the insurance. I know workman's comp and people do donate, so we're kind of at the point where we're at a standstill. We could start looking at avenues and options, or come out with it with a flat number.
Well, I think you put a pretty good presentation here on what it looks like you need, and if your community's in agreement with that, I'd like to see it go forward to our next step, whatever we gotta do to get it moving. I think we have the money in the budget from for the training facility to be in there, and I believe it's time to get it, so.
Again, if you guys would like to meet more on a workshop level to go over the fine tooth or with anything you needed, the training committee met also, and they knocked it out of the park.
I would just like to see, like, Mark was talking about something that takes stuff up there,
Just
as long as all that safety
Well, you
stuff's
got,
covered, so that
hey,
you
you're
got.
telling him, don't forget, you're telling him that you have will reach almost 3 stories.
Yeah, but I'm more for the guys that are doing the fires all day. It's a lot out on the stairs. We can have something to serve.
Well, we have cages that go on that, if you could set them up there.
And a lot of that was even thought of in the planning of this. So if you notice, like on the picture on the right, that's where all the can doors would open. So we would have access to open these up, whether it be to air it out, and then we do have the grate all. So we can get larger props and bigger things up in there. We could stage pallet stage equipment. So a lot of that was also thought in the design.
I know one of the thoughts was that right next, is that, obviously that's the barn out there now. Is this an additional building?
Yeah, look into an additional, or
Could we use that? I mean, it's in work back there.
There's 3 buildings cans out there now. You're not gonna use those in these props here, right?
the only thing we were thinking about using was use one to do for the instructors and for the staging.
All right, and then why can't you use the other ones? Those are ours, right? So why couldn't we use those for your, putting your hay and your straw and so forth in?
Yeah.
You know?
What's in there?
Right, that's,
Yeah, but you're talking though about
We
over
know what's
here.
coming.
you're talking about for
You're talking about closer to the building.
you're talking about for the 30 class.
Yeah, and
Right.
that's, yeah, just a place where the guys are in here, you're not gonna drag them back.
We're thinking that, like, phase 2, but then again, it's part of the strategic.
I mean, the barn would be ideal, because it is an existing structure, and all you have to do is run, plumbing to it, and, I mean, we can frame that and get that going. It's nothing that, it doesn't have to be a big IT thing or anything, it's where we can stage companies, or we can go in and do a quick thought, go out and do our drills, and come back, and, that way we're not there to do nice quarters, and you got bathrooms out there too, that's another big thing.
The village didn't have an issue with the height or anything like that?
No, I talked with Michael Kerrigan on that. Like I said, we're ready to go with it. I'll fill out the permit stuff. We're
we're gonna waive some of those fees on that too, so, it's a site process, make sure, you know, your neighbors and everything, everybody's aware of that. He's good with it, I met with the building department and talked to those guys about it, if we wanna go with a slab, if we wanna go with, piers, we're not sure which way to go with that. We're getting more towards the slab right now, it's a little easier for that to get done. We also did, like John was talking about it, Class A combustibles, that's all that's gonna be burned in this thing. We did several burns out there with barrels to see what the smoke would do out there, saw the avenue of travel, which way the smoke was traveling. Pretty much we're pretty good going right about like a northeast travel, so it's just staying away from those guys. And if it ever came to a situation where we had training going on that day and it was a southerly wind, we could just, you know, not do it. So hopefully with that wind tunnel out there, we're sitting high enough in their elevation where it stays up above the houses. Should be good.
And that'd be my only other biggest concern is, just making sure everybody agrees with, and that, I know you spoke with some people, but whether we do some type of a.
That's part of the site
letter,
process, Mark, that's part of that process, so.
you do a letter to them or invite them here one night to do a some kind of
Yeah.
presentation.
I think that's really, we are with them too,
You
to
guys
bring
did
them over.
did a great job with it, I mean, be the one that, you know, we hate to see you do all the work
Yeah.
and have.
And the ones we should have talked to were kind of feedback we could get.
No problem. No problem. That's the ones that are great up against us.
Closest things.
Well, here's the thing, if you got, they got a 12-week lead time now. If we proceed with this, you're gonna be looking at, mid to end of April before anything can start.
The process with the village is usually, we've already got it, we can fast track that, so it'll be at least a 30-day that to be on the agenda.
Well, you'll have plenty of time to get it through the village,
Right.
but these guys need to know so that they can get things moving.
We have to get some costs together for
The concrete costs.
the concrete, what we're gonna be,
Prep work.
prep work and what we're gonna have after, the additional cost after just the buildings, but do we need a motion on this, Tom? I mean,
Yes, you do.
I'll make a
Yeah,
motion that
absolutely.
we, move forward and go for these two training facilities on the site in the back here.
Second, roll call. Jim?
Jim Langen, yes.
Doug Street, yes.
Jenny Dodd, yes.
Mark Reynolds, yes?
It's a nice
Thanks,
presentation.
fellas.
Thank you guys for your time.
Get your order in.
If you need any, if you haven't needed anything, and you have any questions, don't hesitate to call us.
Thank you.
We're gonna go through it. Thanks.
This Plain Street property. I don't have anything other than, we haven't got the appraisal back yet. Strategic plan,
We've sent you a copy with all the edits built into it already. The chief did that some months back. We'd just like to get together to,
I was gonna say, can we revisit that?
Yes.
And then finalize it?
yes,
Do you wanna do that in a workshop?
that would probably be the best and have it focused on that and not add other things to that agenda. Would be helpful.
Can we do that in February, because we'll have, the only reason I say that, is we'll have everybody here. Sure. Find out how long Bill's gonna be home. And try to
Send some
set it
dates
up
out.
so that he's here. That way we got everybody on board.
Yeah, very good.
Is there anything, Dave, that you need to get out of the way prior to February that?
No, no, I think that gives you plenty of time for anything other.
Any grant updates?
Lieutenant Scott is working on a physical fitness equipment grant that, actually Mark sent us just last week. It's due tomorrow, but, just talked with him again today and he's got it wrapped up, just kind of crossing the Ts and dotting the Is. We're gonna submit for that, but nothing else at this point.
No, I heard Lieutenant Butler mention something about some grants. Is that anything?
I don't know, I wouldn't, I don't wanna say no, but those things are getting too far between too.
Yeah, I think
We're gonna pursue
I think
everything.
they're gonna get tighter,
Yeah, yeah.
from what I hear the governor talk.
We keep knocking, but they don't always answer.
New business, operational issues.
Yeah.
I got no.
We got the battalion chief that's driving.
You got anything to add?
No, sir. Everything's going along real well?
Going along okay?
The board review notices, annexation. We need to go over on a, discuss the purchase of another thermal imaging camera.
Yeah.
We have, the one out of 11 or 21 right now is being used. We have 41. Our first imaging camera we had was like 2000, 2001. It's pretty much, we did it with the Boulder products. They had a nice promotional thing out there for like $3,000 if you turn one in. The problem is ours is so old that it doesn't count. So what you have, I think you had in your packet, since then we found out that since that camera's too old, it doesn't allow us for that reduction in cost. So thermal imaging right now is about $7,700. We did get prices from, right now everything we have is Bullard, and Mark, you may know, but the MSA's out there, that's pretty much the one that's compatible to that. That's about $13,600 for one of those. So Bullard's a pretty good product. We're pretty satisfied with it. So we're looking at trying to get at least a couple of those things, one to go in the battalion chief's car, and one to replace the one that's obsolete.
You got that in the budget item?
I think we do, yeah. And once, we did call about the two of them at the cost, we'll probably have them sharpen the pencil a little bit more, but you saw what the cost of them are, so $7,700, so.
Well, I think, in my opinion, they're a heck of a safety tool.
They are.
And I definitely believe that we should proceed and get you guys some new ones
You're
updated.
gonna get the same ones like basically we have now, so operationally they,
Right.
the guys are bouncing around in a different company.
We'll have the other one, we'll have one in the battalion chief's car, so if one does go down, we have one that's spare.
And just before you proceed, if I can ask council, just relative to that law that requires bidding in excess of $10,000, I think.
20.
20? So we're good with that, but,
It's under 20?
yeah.
You're good.
The difficulty we have though is people have a territory and we can't get basically 3 compatible bids for Bullard equipment, so that's why we have a MSA is a kind of a comparable camera, but you can't really do an apples to apples bid process. And so we elected to stay with all of our other units of Bullard, and that's the pricing we get. We look.
Anybody else want to make
I'll make a motion that we purchase two, of the Bullard thermal imagers from ESS Safety in the amount of $7,700 each.
I'll second it.
a all in favor? But Jim?
Jim Wigton, yes.
Don Street, yes.
Denny Bennett, yes.
Mark Reynolds, yes.
The roof deal for GAF.
Yeah. We're good with the original deal that you guys approved last month, and now this is subsequent to that. This class action suit has come to our
There are other
attention.
buildings.
Council has some information on that.
Yeah. Speak.
I'm trying to remember what I reported last month, 'cause we discussed.
We're good last month. That was the failure of Station
That's
4's
him.
shingles, and now Station 1, 2, and 3. We wanted to make sure, apparently we may be eligible to join this class action suit, but
Nobody's offered to settle directly with us.
not for those 3 stations.
For those 3 stations, then I would put in and see what you get.
Okay. That's what we'll do. All in favor of that? Okay. All right, Chief's report. Is there anything that you want to add?
Just a couple of small things here. Just to give you an idea on our medical billing, Last year with Andres, we collected net $883,000 from Andres. So we're in the process. For the next meeting, we should have, give you an idea of what we've got in the last 2 or 3 years to just give you some measure of what we've been able to do there. So doesn't come close to covering our costs, but it does help to offset some of the costs that we do incur.
I see you're doing better on your fire recovery too.
Yeah, the fire recovery, $54,000 that we didn't have before we got them, so we're, I think,
Every month it seems to be picking up.
yeah,
a little bit.
it's incrementally moving a little bit. I suspect we'll hit the ceiling here pretty soon, but probably around $75,000, it looks like annually, we'll be able to project for that. Yeah.
How, by the way, how's the status of the new ambulance?
March, the boys are going out to inspect it, so it should be right around March.
Okay. Anything else?
I just wanted to thank everybody that participated, was able to participate in the Chiefs send-off. I thought it turned out very nice. Especially want to thank the Honor Guard. Brian Gallup kind of heads that up with then Marchinsky, Ryan Johnson, Ray Crompton. Duke was there, Eric Watkins, and Eric Jensen all participated in the flag ceremony, as well as the people that helped cook the breakfast in the morning. Trustee Lehman, Joe Brodus, Scotty Moore, Vince Boddick, and Eddie were a big part of that, and I think it goes without saying, but to mention Fred and Ralph and all that they do to prep those kind of things all the time behind the scenes is very helpful. But, and obviously the police department participated and provided some traffic control for us.
That was very helpful.
Yeah.
That was very nice.
Yeah. So I think all in all, it was a very nice send-off for a guy that deserved that.
Speaking of breakfast, here's, I think
Cracker
we're
sausage.
gonna have our sausage tasting Friday morning.
Okay.
I went and got it today for the pancake breakfast, to see if it'll fit.
Okay. I think that's, oh, the 28th, in my report, I believe I mentioned this, but the 28th of January at 7 p.m. over at the police department, for what's been coined as Chat with the Chiefs, Chief Konopek and myself, Chief Stratton, and one of our on-duty battalion chiefs, a representative from Oswego Fire and PEMA are there to meet the public and just have a conversation with anybody from the public that happens to show up and have questions. We're trying to do this 4 times this first year on a quarterly basis, just to provide a public safety, a joint public safety interaction with the public. People that might have questions that definitely overlap PEMA's role or Oswego Fire, Plainfield Fire, and Plainfield Police role in this area. So we're optimistic that that's going to go well, and that we'll get some feedback, either how we're doing or questions on what people can expect. 28, 7 p.m. PD.
7 o'clock?
Yes, sir.
Anything else?
No, sir.
Committee reports, Bill and Doug, you got anything on
I got something
personnel? You want to do
to
it?
talk about,
Closed
so
session?
that I like to do it close.
All right. Mark, you got anything?
No, you heard the ambulance, they're looking sometime mid-March, that's moving right along. Mike's been quite busy, the battalion chief's car's been striped, it's just about done. I think he's got a couple things to wrap up with that. Chief Stratton's new car is in, that striping's done. Mike will start working on that next, so he's been pretty busy. So, but it's moving along, probably another week or so. We think maybe for the BC's car, they got some computer stuff to do.
Hoping sooner,
Yeah.
hoping sooner.
Moving along.
fire commission, got anything on that?
We have a meeting scheduled next week, or the week
21st.
after. It's coming up, but we have just a fire commission meeting scheduled. We're gonna go over some of the rules and see how they fit currently.
Okay, at this time, need a motion to go to, closed session.
I'll make a motion to go to closed session.
Hey, Jenny, can I ask, add a couple of things to my?
Yes, hang on, time out.
Can I add a couple of things before we go close? Looking for permission, since last night's meeting was for the pancake breakfast to held here on March 22nd. You guys okay with that?
I think that's the game plan.
Okay.
No, was it March 29th?
22nd.
22nd?
22nd, yeah.
So you guys are good with that? We'll hold it at headquarters here.
Jim, they talked about the 29th, but that's the day of the parade.
No, the
No, no.
15th we started out, the 15th, we went to the 22nd.
Yeah,
Yes.
you're right, okay.
Then that's what, we have the Irish parade also along that time. We'll have the St. Baldrick's thing that we've done for all these years. We'll probably hold it down at headquarters again with the ceremony and everything. You guys okay with that, as long as we're still on the building?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Do they have an alternate place in case,
Yeah.
do you have an alternate place in case you don't have it down there? You go there.
Okay, anything else? All right, this time we'll take a motion to go into closed session.
I'll make a motion to go into closed session at 6:51.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.